I have faced 8 years of death, bro. I've gotten to a place where I've had to... sorry, man. There are those who decide, God nimekuacha, I'm no longer saved, I'm out, nimeenda.
Yeah.
Mimi nilienda astray within the church. Kama ni kunyang'anyana mdem, nishawai. Wife. Bro.
Yeah.
Scandal beyond scandals.
Yeah.
I pulled my identity from my talents.
Yeah.
From serving God in the worship team, instrumentalists.
Yeah.
I joined these ministries without knowing what's at stake.
Yeah.
My folks were so embarrassed, they moved churches. It's very, very easy for you to flow with the crowd and miss out on the person of Jesus in your own life.
Yeah.
How do I tell you about a God who's merciful and I don't know about his mercy?
Yeah.
Or I don't have a situation in my life where mercy played a very big role. Listen to what your mother says if they are still alive, your father. Listen to what people are saying. Don't judge them too fast. Always take in, listen. Okay, why is everyone saying this about me? We reconciled and my mom told me, I've been praying for you since the first year. And this money that I have used, I always saved it in the bank, saying one day my son will return.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine she's been saving for 8 years. It does not matter the pain that you endured.
Yeah.
The joy of resurrection took away the pain of crucifixion.
It's like a brand new...
No, it's a polishing.
Do you remember karibu kuwe Catholic priest?
Yeah, bro. Akatoa mkikombe, akashukuru, akaumega. Akawapa wafuasi wake akisema twaeni. But now, because Zamzungu can't say mnywe wote. So you used to say twaeni mnyimwe wote.
Bwana awe nyanyi.
Awe pia nawe. Inue ni mioyo. Tumeinuwa kwa Bwana. Tumsifu Bwana Mungu wetu. Ni vyema na
Yo, what's up, good people, man? First, thank you so much for always joining us for the DJ Moz Podcast. We do not take it for granted, man. I'm always excited to be able to have wonderful guests joining me for conversations. People who are known, other people who are not known, but they are known in their circles. And, just being able to have genuine, honest conversations with them. So, man, as you continue digging in and enjoying the podcast, we'd like to encourage you to go ahead and support us, man. This is only possible through your love and through your support. Pray for us. Talk about us, but then also you can go ahead and go a step further and support us financially, and you can do that by our account number and the till number. They're all, is it till number? No, the pay bill number and the account numbers iko hapa hivi, si ndio? Please do go ahead and support us financially, because this encourages us, allows us to be able to pay our bills and to continue hooking you up with more great content, si ndio? Thank you so much for your love. In the meantime, man, let's continue in our conversations today hapa hivi on the DJ Moz Podcast.
So tulikuwa sema that song by Sons of Sunday.
Yeah.
One More Day.
Sure.
It has been so significant for me because of the message in the song. Yani God umenipatia one more day to say I love you. One more day to testify of your grace.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu mimi nikiangalia vitu God amenipitisha na mahali ametufikisha.
Yes.
What else do I say apart from God thank you and God I love you.
Yeah.
So kuna verse 2 Chandler Moore huimba anasema when darkness was closing in on me, Jesus, I thank you because you held on to me.
Yeah.
Bro, hiyo giza maze kuna time imekuja imenifunga, man. I'm like there's no way out.
And one of the biggest questions mujiuliza, even to date, when I'm going through a storm and it's dark, sometimes when you're in that melee of everywhere ni kiupepo tu kinakuzungusha, you don't even know where front to back, ujui kesho, you don't even know the date, ujui hiyo siku ni siku gani, because maybe you're just wallowing in that that moment. I always have a place I can run to. And that's total dependence. Like Christ, I leave everything to you. Nakuachia. I do not want to carry this burden anymore. At your feet nimeiwacha. And for some reason, somehow things just slowly work out.
Yeah.
And that question I ask myself every day is, wale wase hawajui God, man. Who do they go to? Like, how do you handle that pressure of being in the dark and not knowing where to go? Who do you call on to?
Yeah.
Who guides you? Who illuminates your path and shows you kanyanga hapa, kanyanga hapa? Because sometimes inakuanga very uncertain. Kuanga very uncertain. Ujuangi. And then ujui nani yako for you.
Yeah.
All you have is your family. And sometimes you find the family are busy at that moment. Yep. You're all alone.
Yeah.
So who do you call to?
Yeah.
Come ujui Christ.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy. You know, you say that and I've remembered when my mother-in-law passed away. And she was an incredible woman, Ruth Ross. So, like, her death was so sudden, bro. It's one of those things you don't expect. She was not unwell. She and my father-in-law, they were going to celebrate their... I want to say because they got married in 1977. Yeah, so this was probably their 38th wedding anniversary or something like that.
Yeah.
Deb's dad was about to celebrate his 60th birthday, so they were combining those things, together. And so they went for their holiday, and so they landed in Seattle, in California, and a place called Palm Springs. So it's like a desert. And so they went hiking. So they woke up in the morning, like 7 o'clock. They were like, let's go hiking to climb up that mountain over there. I mean, it's not a big mountain, but as they were going up, she got a heat stroke.
Oh, that was sad.
Just like my mother-in-law was healthy, man. Like, she was always walking. And so now to fast forward, as we were going through this period of mourning, I think someone asked Debs, how do you continue holding on to God after something like this has happened? How do you continue believing and trusting in Him? It's like, basically you should abandon that belief.
Right.
And then Debs wondered, actually, how do you go through this without God? How do you go through that challenge
without God?
Ooh. How does it make sense?
It does not, bro. Me, I grew up in Buru grew up early 80s, into 90s.
Yeah.
Firstborn, Paros. Buru was was UK, you guys.
Buru.
Buru ilikuwa UK.
Hey, remember nilikuwa nasema ukipata dem Buru. Wewe ndo unawaka sasa, yeah.
Bro, fast forward, if you'd have told me that I would be hitting my 40s without parents.
Wow.
I wouldn't believe. You see, people used to die and we would go for matangas.
Yeah.
But for some reason, there's this thought in our head where tunaonanga, hizi vitu happen ya watu wengine.
Yeah,
This ones our parents will grow old.
Yeah.
And even if they grow old, we don't see them really leaving us.
Yeah.
But bro, 2019, just before COVID, old man, kwa hao, ameambia wase kwa heri, wacha niende hapa Kagio. Ni inspect fence, mili tatu, ni rudi. It was his first time to go to up country without my mom. The first time.
Wow.
Hawajaenda bila. Hawajaenda
always
wenda pamoja.
Yeah.
But this time round, anasema, I'm just going to inspect. And my sister had just given birth.
Yeah.
So akaambia mother, we baki na mtoi na mjukuu. He's been named. So he's so happy. We baki na mtoi, wacha niende, ni inspect ni rudi. Bro, na hivyo ndo alienda na akaenda. Collapse kwa hao, stroke, na akadai. Hakuwa msika.
Wow.
So first shock. Mother ndo anakuanga msikli. So you'd expect maybe if you were to follow logic, mother labda ange pass before father, but yeye ndo amebaki na ni msikli. So si ndo tuko hapo kidogo cancer stage 4. Pancreatic.
Yeah.
Na unajua hiyo ni ile kubwa.
Yeah.
So all this while, these things are happening, it's blow after blow.
Yeah.
But as men, we've been taught, si ukua tu. Like even guys were like, hey, you guys are so strong. And we tell people that kwa matanga, hey, you are so strong, which is very good. And sometimes you don't know, it's just because we don't know how to face this darkness.
Yeah.
And trying to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Like, how am I here now? I'm the firstborn. Sasa mi ndio mkubwa wa family yetu. I have to take care of my siblings and my nephews and my nieces. I'm the one who makes sure just as we have a very good relationship.
Yeah.
But even so, I'm still yet to come to terms with the fact that I have no parents to go home to. Bro, how can I face this darkness without Christ in my life? And I have I've gotten to a place where I've had to, man. Sorry, man.
Iko sawa tu.
Sikuwa najua. But I'll tell you for a fact, and with a group of men, we started this prayer move. Mondays we go and pray.
Yeah.
For about 2 hours nini every Monday hapo Ruak Rivers. Hata sijui kapa siwa anajonga sio ingeo chachi yake.
Stand.
Gacho ajui kasi ingeo chachi yake. But they open the doors for us and we pray. We literally pray hapo every Monday. And I remember halfway through one of my prayers, nilikuwa na pray because I started way before when mom was sick. Continued till today. It's been kind of crazy nowadays, but we still try and make a point.
Yeah.
But I got to a place where I got so comfortable in telling God the things I used to tell my folks. I told God, maybe God maze niko na ngori, kuna kadila hapa, unaonaje?
Yeah.
Unajua sasa wewe ndio umenisimamia. Hebu enda before me.
Yeah.
And he actually does.
Yeah.
By the way, vitu zina happen, I'm like, you know what? I do not feel like an orphan. See, feel nika nimeachwa. God always handles me. So I asked myself, how do people who don't know Christ, how do they handle such things?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy because
kwa najua itakuwa ngori hivi. Sikuwa wewe ndio umekuja kunifungulia hapo hivi. Yeah. But it's such a blessing, such a beautiful thing to be and not even under in the to just lie in the bosom of Christ, like uko tu hapo like a father. I stopped seeing God as this msia kona nyahonyo tu anangoja nifanye mistake anichua unajua. And I'm like, even how I pray nowadays and how I talk to him, like I hata when I'm driving hata siku hizi muzi mantenje baadaye tubonge mazi. Mazi udema amenionyesha maufala God. Mbona anaongelesha hivyo? Like that's how I talk to God. Unaonaje God? Like things that I would go and tell my mom, mom mazi, nimelemewa hapa unaonaje? And that to me has been the best transformation in my life. It's not doing exploits, it's not doing great things, it's not recording the best songs or doing the best videos, it's not winning awards. It's just being in a relationship with Christ, personal. Because most we grew up in an era where our churches, those days churches zilikuwa zimeboom. So it was very easy to be corporately serving God. It's very easy. Even Kubamba has this vibe, man. Has this vibe that when you're in Kubamba, you feel, there is this unity, togetherness, you're doing missions, you're going. I remember when we started doing Kubamba, the now, what they're doing at the what is it called? The Bible study. When it used to be artists, when we used to be like a handful. Tunakaa pale bapo, pale nje kwa mbao. You remember those days? And artists used to come to Nakapo, we worship and pray. To prepare your stories, extreme weekend, nini, used to merge and all those things. And now what it has grown to, and it's very, very easy for you to flow with the crowd and miss out on the person of Jesus in your own life. And that has been my greatest. But if you ask me what is my greatest success, ni hiyo. Sitakwambia ati niko na nini ama nini. Mimi sina kitu. The greatest success I can count in my life is, I won't say I've attained it. It's something you do every day. But depending on Christ 101%, walking with Christ personally, like when everyone is running right, God can tell me, remain still. Let them go kwanza. And I'll wait. Bro, when you attain that level, I think the possibilities are infinite.
Danco, as I talk to you, I don't know why it comes out to me as though, even now as you're speaking, I don't know why I see as though your life and the life of David are very parallel.
Now when you mention it, I've seen that in a while. Like in like nimekuwa nikianalyze the life of David, in the past. And I'm like, maze vitu David amefanya. Pia mimi nimefanya.
That's why I'm like...
Vitu David amefanya nimefanya. Maybe tu sijaenda war.
Yeah.
Sijaua wase.
Yeah.
Sija pasu, sija recover. Z-Clag boys.
Yeah.
But all I can say is that I have seen, and David to me is very pivotal in my life. Because if God calls him a man after my own heart, my friend, then that gives me hope that anything that I see that is of, how do I say it? Anything I see in me that is cringe-worthy, let me use that word, that is shameful, does not have power over me.
No.
Because kama ni kunyang'anyana mdem, nishawai. Wife. Bro.
Yeah.
Scandal beyond scandals.
Yeah.
And no one wakes up and decides, by the way, today I'm coming for Debs.
Yeah.
No one wakes up and says, no. It's subtle. You never know when these things happen.
Yeah.
You just find yourself attracted to someone. And that normally happens when Christ is not the core and the center. Umeka vitu zingine. Umejilaminate. If it is being in a state of quagmire, ile place, because of you're paying for the things that you've done, you've sinned. Like David heavily sinned.
Yeah.
David ali sinned. David alipitia hizo vitu zote. I think I've not gone through all, but a few that I have gone through. Yeah. And still him being called a man after, like God's friend, a man after my own heart. Like he was God's best friend. Yeah. Amen. That gives me hope. Bro, I've gone through it all. I have faced 8 years of death, bro. And what I call death is wasteland. Like you have so much potential, but because of an original sin.
Yeah.
You see, God is not in the business of blessing you beyond your last disobedience. Bro, you kurudisha. Ulikosea njia wapi? You know, Moz, when msome travel. And probably kuna mahali unaendanga, maybe Google Maps inakwambia turn left. Bro, unapiga hiyo left. Unaenda inakwambia right, unapiga kona na sasa umelost. Then nakwambia your destination is on the left. Unaangalia hivi ni kiplane, ulikuwa tafuta shule.
Yeah.
Do you know, for you to get your bearing back, you have to go back up until that moment where you took the wrong turn.
Yeah.
So that's the same with God. Like God always has to show you, fine. So you're wandering off. God is a gentleman. Yeah, well, unaenda. You think you can carve your own path. You carve it. Bro, I carved my own path in immorality and pleasures of the body.
Yeah.
And I went and I felt good because Moz sita kuchit. Siwezi kwambia ati ilikuwa ati ni battlefield. It felt good, man. I felt I have people who understand me. You know, we are walking the same walk because that person was also going through a separation.
Yeah.
And I was also going through a wedding that had not materialized. So we felt the griefs attracted to one another and we flowed, bro. And I took a wrong turn for 8 years, bro.
Wow.
8 years of death. I could not write a song. Moz nilijaribu kuandika song. Siwezi andika verse moja. And the way you know me, mi naweza andika ngoma 4 5 in a day. I could not write one verse. I could not even finish a chorus.
In 8 years?
In 8 years. My mom was heavily praying. And I'm in that desert. And we got a child, beautiful baby Zuri. She's my everything, man.
Yeah.
And that I don't regret at all. Everything around it, bro, take me back. I know hard times are not punitive or random. They are there to help us to depend on Christ.
Yeah.
But if I would go back, bro, I would make better decisions.
Wow.
The only thing I would regret is maybe I wouldn't see my daughter because maybe she wouldn't get bored. Maybe God would find a way. But that's the only thing. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But like David, I believe the world, by the way, if by worldly standards, kama msee alikuwa anapewa if ni exam unaanzia 100 uende ukitolewa marks. Mimi najua niko huko hivyo 08. Because 08 out of 100.
Yeah.
You know. But hesabu ya God haiendangi hivyo. Hesabu ya God ni you have repented. You have turned back your way. I'm going to heal you. I'm going to heal your land. I'm going to unarudi so.
Yeah.
Unaenda ukipiga minus unafika 77 kidogo, unaambia God, by the way, take over man. Unarudi so. But ya earth inaendanga tu ikienda chini. So I personally mwenza kuambia siwezi vie for presidency.
Kwa nini?
Buda mazema zile maskendo zitatokea buda ma story.
Ni kibao.
According to the to earthly standards. Unless God mwenyewe aniambia sasa you can do it. But that's life.
But how crazy is it that it's not like God did not know that David was going to kill Uriah. He's going to kill Uriah alafu na achukue wife yake Bathsheba. You know, God knew that because God knows everything.
That's why it happens,
It doesn't shock him and be like, David has done something crazy. But it's not that one situation that defines the man. It's not that one bleep that defines the man, or the man, or two bleeps, or three, or four, or five. And I'm going to say this. Probably I'll paraphrase it, but you know, there's one time I think I had Lacrae mention something like, you know, that God makes straight lines out of crooked lives.
Yes, crooked lives. Completely.
Only He alone can be able to do something like that,
bro. You know, right now in this very moment, and I'll tell you this: when we were growing up in Buru. Buru imechongwa vifiti. Kuna hizo ma drainage, ma mitaro. So we used to see drunkards fall in the ditches. Mse amelewa, amekuja amedunda kwa ditch. Ama kuna msetu yule tu mtaa yu pitanga tu. Asumia anapita na suti. Jioni anapita tai hata siviko wapi. Amelewa. And we used to see, ama unakaa hivi unaona ule demo ile mtaa na ball. And we had this thing constantly grow up, ma Protestant, ma Pente. We had this thing of, hey, you got to judge, maze, why? How could you get yourself in such situations? Bro, right now where I stand, I would embrace all these people, bro.
Wow.
Someone comes and tells me maybe I'm to wife. I won't throw stones, bro. And I'm like, And that's how I got myself on radio. I've never told you, but after leaving Kubamba, I got, so it was a hiatus of about 2 years plus, jobless. Mahali umewekwa na mresh mazee hauna kakitu.
You can tell us about this one,
I'm going to tell you about this. But I remember going for my interview and sitting in a panel. And bro, when you look at the life of David, in fact, I like going back to the life of David. Why? Because I really identify with David in Adullam. In the caves of Adullam. That's how I identify with him. Hopelessness. Not only hopelessness personified, but surrounded by a bunch of hopeless people. Bro, unajua ukiwa hosi kuna kwa na hope ya ule ni daktari au msi ako healthy. Mimi si mgonjwa kushinda huyu. But you can imagine uko mahali nyinyi wote mko same.
Ni ukweli.
Na anasaidia nani?
Hakuna mtu akona breakthrough. You're all in a cave.
You're in a cave.
Man.
You're there hopeless. Watu wako na madeni, watu hawajui kuendelea na life. And I really identify with him in that stage because being in Adullam taught me so many things. So that 2-year hiatus, then I get an interview to work for Pal Radio. And I'm inside the interview boardroom, and the owner of the company is there. The wife is there. A friend of mine called David King, he's there. And I'm seated there. And every fiber in me is telling me, wachoche. Onesha venye uko na experience. Si Moz ulifanyia Moz kazi Kubamba. Onesha venye wewe ni mnoma. Bro, I laid it bare. I told them, you want to hire me? This is where I am. ABC. I'm struggling with this. I'm going through the worst heartbreak of my life. I'm going through this. I am Nene. Bro, I am in the, how do I say it? In the biggest mess of my life. You think you want this voice behind a mic in a Christian station. They kept quiet. Waniangalia. So David's the one who, now the guy was called David. David look at me, he's smiling. Why? Because I'm in a WhatsApp group called Adullam. People who are going through marital issues. People who are going through divorce, separation. I'm already in a group. It's called Adullam, a WhatsApp group. So who condemn in hopelessness, bro? Tuko kwa cave.
Wasi wako.
Bro, ni uko
wanakapitia.
Kila siku mazeni nimenyimwa kuona mtu hii. Is there a lawyer who can help me? It's a beautiful group. And then, of course, the bigger group is called Kingdom Men, who now really help us to work together. And I'm seated there. I'm like, kwa my heart najiuliza, God, mbona umeniaibisha? Umenileta hapa niongee stories zangu kwa nini?
Yeah.
Kumbe ana plan. Bro, the 2 years and a few months I worked for Pal Radio, my heart was out for men. Men who would not literally speak. As in, bro, we've had shows when men call and cry. Hata aseme jina. Analia tu. Because I used my story as a testimony. I said, bro, mi ndaongea. So if someone talking about struggling with alcoholism, I know it, bro.
You've been there.
I've been there. I know it. Someone calls and says how he's harboring, mother wounds or father wounds or zinini. I use my own stories to tell. And I got into a lot of trouble with people because they're like, you're exposing yourself. You're becoming an open book. But how else can I preach, Moz?
Yeah.
How do I tell you about a God who's merciful and I don't know about his mercy?
Yeah.
Or I don't have a situation in my life where mercy played a very big role. Bro, and that is me. In Adulam. And the same guys that surround you in Adulam of hopelessness become the mighty men of David.
Yeah.
Bro, they become the Ziklag boys.
Yeah.
Bro.
And they're talking about the mighty men of David's mighty men. This guy killed this.
Hey!
It's the same guys who are with him in the cave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about it is, for me, my sins were very open.
Yeah.
Ziko, inaonekana.
Yeah.
Bro, inaonekana like, si kitu ya kuficha. Udemu limge ball, ana ball, inaonekana.
Yeah.
Yani ball yako. Umse alikuwa wife ya mtu. Inaonekana. How much more us who maybe our issues zetu hazionekani. They're just hidden behind doors.
Yeah.
And now I understood why. Now to bring it back to perspective, I understood why. God knows right now where I sit. I wouldn't throw a stone to someone who's running away with someone's wife.
Yeah.
I would pursue them with love. How I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Feeling like a villain. Bro, ushaifeel ka villain. Unajua? Unakaa hivi unaona vitu zako go through. Unajaribu ujarecord ngoma. Sasa nakwambia bro, every year in year out. Unaambia bro venye uko na potential.
Yeah.
But you can't do it. It's not that you can't.
Yeah.
Like kuna kitu imekublock. And so I now understand why. It was my own choice.
Yeah.
It's not God who took me through it. It was my choice. I went through it. But God knows how to make that thing that was ugly beautiful in its time.
Yeah.
And now it's beautiful. Like I can sit here and talk about it without shame.
Yeah.
Najua sort of cringe. Danco mbona kuna msee anasaidia.
Yeah.
Kuna msee ananiambia mazee Danco niko hapo.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That now I feel like I'm not alone in this. You know, walking alone is hata mushanga.
It's hard.
Walking alone is hard. Timu yako yenyewe wanasemanga you never walk alone, bro. You
Liverpool.
never walk alone, the champion.
Yeah, yeah.
As in walking alone is such a lonely place to be.
It is.
So that's where I am, and I believe there's a reason as to why people go through the same thing. God sees you because he knows the end from the beginning. He sees your options. He prays you would choose life. Therefore, there is death and life. But you choose life. You choose death. And he says, okay, he has chosen death. Okay, I love my son. Let him just mess. Go mess. Convicts you. As you go back, this curve, this wrong turn you took becomes now the core of how you interact with people in a more, how do I say, it becomes a core of what you do. It speaks for you.
Yeah.
Not in shame.
Yeah.
Not in darkness. But it speaks for you in light and brings people to the realization that God is the God of the narrow gate. He still knows the guys who are going through the wide gate.
Yeah.
He still knows. And he cries out for them.
Yeah.
But he prays that you take a turn before it's too late and you serve him.
Yeah.
Using that which looked like that which was meant for evil for good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that you have mentioned is that God is using your life to be able to like to correct and to love on people who are probably heading in the wrong direction. If you don't mind me asking, like, there are probably people who are watching the podcast or listening to it, and they're probably in a similar space where either where you are about to make the wrong turn,
yes,
or where you made the wrong turn.
Mm-hmm.
And for the sake of the person who's watching this or listening to this, how did you end up going in the wrong path?
Now,
what was
the point?
What are the consequences of that as well? Because this can also work as a warning to someone who might be thinking of going down the same path.
But there are many people who are on the verge of making decisions,
yeah,
and they don't know how crazy,
yeah,
how much it will affect their lives,
yeah,
for years to come. Because, like for me, do you know, it's funny. There are those who decide, God nimekuacha, I'm no longer saved, I'm out, nimeenda.
Yeah.
Mimi nilienda astray within the church. Bro, still saved.
Yeah.
But I grew up, my talents really spoke for me. And I pulled my identity from my talents.
Yeah.
From serving God in the worship team, instrumentalists.
Yeah.
Bro, mimi ni msupu Buddha. Wewe unaniambia nini? Chapia drums hapo nini? Kesho mimi ndo na lead worship. Yeah. And I never knew. I joined these ministries without knowing what's at stake.
Yeah.
We just joined them because I know how to sing. I know how to play instruments.
Yeah.
And so for years, that is what was my foundation. And I thought, because I'm in church, it's very, siwezi tupambao. Until you get to a place where you have actually expanded the box. See, you may expand sana, you may allow so many other things. And your conscience is numb.
Yeah.
So, hii mnapatanga tu na mdem tu kwa kwaya. By the way, nyu pigana miti, bro. Nyu pigana. Na by the way, mumejinam that Sunday mnaweza enda kulead worship tena.
Yeah.
Na mko sawa. Hakuna ile fear ya hata ya madhabahu or something like that. And so, growing up in such a scenario, and I told you about the corporate, how you can get lost in corporate service to Christ.
Yeah.
You know,
because you're in the church.
In the church.
You're serving at the front.
Exactly. Monday to Monday mko hapo.
Yeah.
Every day of the week. Mko church tu mnakuanga tu corporate. So you skip that personal relationship with Christ.
Yeah.
And Christ anakuita tu. Atakuwa na personal relationship na wewe. So the only thing that can happen to you is isolation.
Yeah.
When you're going through a hardship. So for me, I was in church and I wanted to marry this lady. Things didn't work out. And her, she was married, but they had issues in their marriage. Something had happened and they had separated.
Yeah.
And me and this chick, we were singing in the choir. Bro, tulikuwa tunaimba choir, tulikuwa tunaimba fiti sana. Like, pamoja, we would lead worship together. We were in a band together. We do so many things together.
Yeah.
So without knowing, we started it was too close for comfort.
Yeah.
You know? And then when we started opening up to each other, to one another, opening up, as in, you're going through the same things I'm going through.
Yeah.
You're hurting the same way I'm hurting. So we felt, and all this while, by the Christ ayuko hapo. Because I won't tell you that we would sit down and share and pray for one another.
Yeah.
No.
You are praying.
We were praying on one another. And before long, you start seeing, mnaanza kuwa physical. Tuza ufala, man. And bro, I'm telling you, there is no comeback. Bro, it's like this cake. Like the moment you take the first bite, you can't stop. You can't stop. Because the enemy really blossoms this thing.
Yeah.
Shaito si mjinga, bro. Amekuwa hapa longer than us. Yeah. So he's not here to tell you, Moz, start stealing. He knows, Moz, you can't steal. He just come and tell you, but then Moz, si lazima uombe sana. Fikisha tu hapo. Hata kesho si lazima uombe. Si God anajua hati yako.
Yeah.
Very subtle things that look so small, but in the long run. So before you know it, I was deep in things. I was, I knew this was my wife. Hata nikiomba maze, namclaim.
Bro, kwa prayer,
namclaim.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but unambia God nini?
Nambia God maze, God, I know it is your plan. Otherwise, why would we? Hatuwezi kuwa tuko Naivasha saa hii.
Yeah, na hizi ma-feelings.
Tuko Vasha na hizi ma-feelings. Na umeprovide mpaka ngata.
Unaweza kutumia hizo my blessings.
Could justify.
Yeah.
And right now, maybe there's someone somewhere thinking, but this was meant to be. Otherwise, why would I be where I am today?
Yeah.
Where am I blessed? In fact, nilipata interview.
Yeah.
Nimechorwa job. It seems I'm in the right path.
Easy feelings. Ziko sawa, tumeconnect.
Exactly. I'm not in control of my feelings. Why ndo unafanya? Si ungefanya basi ni mhate.
Yeah.
You know? And we ask ourselves so very stupid questions.
Yeah.
And before you know it, bro, sita kudanganya Moz. Sita kwambia it's ugly. It's beautiful. Ooh, bro, forbidden fruits, bro.
Wow.
Forbidden fruits. Moz. I pray. Hata siwezi ombea enemy wangu yo kitu. Bro, ni tamu.
Wow.
Things ujialign. Kidogo unaenda unapata mpaka wazazi wake wamekukubali.
Vitu zimeingiana tu.
Zimeingiana watu kukula unapendwa. Kidogo couple goals. Bro. But muko kwa horror movie, muko kwa Saw 7, Saw 9. Mnachonga tu horror. Aujui.
Wow.
You know how horror yanzangi na horror tu.
Yeah, inaanzaga mazina kafiti kila kitu iko sawa.
Kafiti until now when it breaks.
Wow.
And the consequences are so dire, bro. You kwanza hiyo personally haujuangi because now the truth is in you. You know you cannot lie.
Yeah.
Deep down, I told you I used to feel like a villain.
Yeah.
Every day. Even when I'm taking my daughter to school. Najembia tu, niko zile, I'm making physical prayers with my mouth. I'm telling God, thank you for this day. Thank you for providing. Thank you for my daughter. Thank you for school. But in my heart, I feel it. So you can't God. It's a timer. It's a countdown timer.
Wow.
Because God keeps crying and telling you, by the way. So, because how do you let me ask you a question, Moz. Let's just be a two devil's advocate, for lack of a better phrase. How do you tell someone like that to leave? Bro, mnapendana. Si upendo ya ukweli, but mnapendana, Moz. Ni hard sana uniambie, stop.
Yeah.
I want you tomorrow, you're living with this person. So what are you telling me?
Yeah.
To go and rent a house? I don't even have cash. I don't even go rent a house. I ignore my daughter. I ignore. Bro, it's hard.
Yeah.
But it's a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Because God is in the business of refining you. And remember, this hardship, this darkness is not punitive. It's not random. It has a purpose.
Yeah.
So guess what happens? You start seeing the true colors. This person anachoka na wewe venye alichoka na ule wa kwanza. I remember one time when I was moving from Buru now to her house. My taxi guy anaitwa Kamwana. Amazing guy. Aliniambia na Kikuyu. Alisema tu, okoro ni agutigire ni undu wa mundu ungi. Okoro ni atigire mundu wangi ni undu waku. Onawe no agagutiga ni undu wa mundu ungi. Loosely translated, if she left someone for you, chances are she'll leave you for someone else.
Wow.
And I hated that guy. I was like, what bro, I'm in love, man. And that's how it all began. So the first sign, always look at what the society, what is the society, what is God trying to tell you through people? If everyone is singing the same song, listen. Listen. Before you go too far, listen.
Were you being warned by guys?
I was being warned. Wow. Guys would tell me, bro, who know if I'm saying, man, what's a kukaribia sana? And I'm like, what do you mean it's Caribbean? I was being warned, Moz.
Yeah.
There are subtle things other than listening to yourself, because you can be deceived, you can deceive people, but
you can't deceive
feel it
yourself.
Deep down, you know beyond the shadow of a doubt. Kidogo kuna ma aunties ama wasi wa church wanaambia, my folks were so embarrassed they moved churches, man.
They moved from the church they had been for a long time.
Church wakaenda church ingine where they've grown, wala pale mebatizwa wakaenda church ingine due embarrassment.
Wow.
Because it's very hard to direct a yoked cow differently from the other. There are two. Tunaitanga huko tunaitangwa zitangwaje, forgotten the name, murao. Murao, they yoke a cow, an ox and another ox.
Yeah.
A younger ox. So the younger ox wangena trainiwa by the older one.
Yeah.
So hii younger ni mimi ni kuna saina jaribingi inaona maze, why are we going one line?
Si twende
hivi but ingine ina. It's very hard to veer off, like to steer something off when umeshika rhythm. My prayer is usishike your rhythm kwanza. My prayer is always pull back. In fact, depend on God so much that you have to ask him everything.
Yeah.
I used to find it very foolish when people say, me man, I ask God which matatu I will climb.
Si upande tu
matri well.
Yeah.
Until now I came to realize it was not about the matri. It's about how dependent you are on God for everything. That he guides your path.
Yeah.
He illuminates your path and tells you, yes, this is the right way. Even though there are hardships along this path, they are there to prepare you for eternity.
Yeah.
They're not there to kill you.
Yeah.
Bro, listen to what your mother says if they're still alive, your father. Yeah. Listen to what people are saying. Don't judge them too fast.
Yeah.
Always take in, listen. Okay, why is everyone saying this about me?
Did you listen to your folks?
Yeah, bro.
Or did that bring a lot of friction between you?
Friction. In 8 years, I can't count the number of times I went home. Buru. Nasi kofa. Nilikuwa tu Langata na buru. I used to go for like zile birthdays 1 hour. Yani, unafeel umekosewa.
Oh.
Unafeel nimekosewa.
Wewe sasa?
They're not respecting and honoring my wishes.
Wow.
And my mom tarried in prayer, bro. Mother aliomba. And at the end of it, when now it broke, bro, let me tell you what happens. So God convicts you every minute of every hour. Yani hata in the good times. Mko hapo mna sherehe ukienda choo, unafikiria tunajiambia tu, oh, you feel this chill down your spine. Is this the path that really God wanted me to be in, to take? So what happened was, now this person becomes toxic, becomes now the leprosy, becomes the thorn, and inaanza kuwa ugly. Inaanza kuwa ugly. So you start seeing the truth now resurfaces. Grief ilipotea. Si huyo asha divorce, mi si uchungu ya kutoa isilishaisha. So now I'm myself now. You're yourself. So what do? You become hard-headed. I don't want to prove to people that this was not meant to be. So you maintain.
Yeah.
You're in pain, but you maintain.
Yeah.
Until the day you isolated everyone. Bro, we had friends. I used to go to chapel. Like, we had man enough nimefanya hizo vitu zote, bro.
When you're in this mix.
I'm in this mess, bro. I've done man enough. Nimefanya ombi. Nilianza na plugin.
Ukiwa kwa hii situation.
Nimelead worship chapel. Led worship proper. Nikiwa kwa hii situation, bro. Because you see, you're trying to carry your baggage.
Yeah.
God, accept me the way I am. I'm coming back to you. I'm coming back to the heart of worship.
Yeah.
And it's all about what I'm carrying with me. You accept it. Yeah. I know it's all about you, but also accept what I'm coming. If you accept me with all these things, because after all, we are 8 years in marriage, bro. It's actually it's being called a marriage.
Yeah.
Bro, but remember, ulikula, turn left.
Yeah.
From your last point. Bro, I was left out in the dark in the midst of COVID after 7:30 p.m. in April has 31 days. The last day of April.
Maybe your mwezi yako ilikuwa na 31 days. April. It was so long. It's 30 days, yeah.
Yes, the last day of April.
Yeah.
I'm out. I don't know where to go. I have a backpack. Mpaka kiateka ndo amenige place ya kushonga, man. Bro, nimelala kwa kiateka. Nimetoka asubuhi, nimechukua Uber. My friends have called me, come live with us for a while. And I know it has begun. Bro, it is the most painful experience ever. Wow. Bro, nikasa hii uanze kuvuta hiyo mkono mpaka ikatike itoke. Pain. The moment, and I remember making a prayer, I said, God, I knew this day would come. Sasa nimeanza kwa bold, najiambia, God, I knew this day would come. But I want you to prove to me that I'm in the right place. Nikiingia kwa Uber tu hivi kwa cab, nikapigiwa na Pal Radio. I've not been working for 2 years and a half. Wow. I got a call. Come to the office, we like you, we'll do interviews. I'm like, I'm being even called for a job. I'm not chasing a job.
Yeah.
And from there, I lived with my friends. They gave me a place to stay, a couple. And my pastor used to come. I'll never forget that guy. It's called Pastor Nderito. It's in the States. He used to come. Senior pastor anakam kukuona kwa bedroom nimekaa huko bro nimejifungia.
Wow.
Take a walk nini ananiombea naishia. He even went, what really jazzes me, alienda mpaka Mukoroine kuona ma-auntie yangu na uncle yangu.
What?
Yeah. Ile tu kuambia by the ombeni umse.
Only Kevin Nderito?
No, it was called Pastor Joseph Nderito.
Okay.
Pastor Joseph Nderito. He took over, I forget the other pastor that was there, but he went to the States. He was now the senior pastor of Nairobi Chapel Langata. He went, bro, that man, I owe him. I don't even know how much I owe him.
Wow.
But he made me understand. And these signs now, remember the signs that were there before?
Yeah.
That you are ignoring? Now, on this other flip side, God has signs to show you, I am with you.
Yeah.
Even you go through the fire, I'll be right there with you.
Yeah.
When you go through the waters, I'll cross them with you.
Yeah.
Ati senior pastor mwenye hata hakuwa anajua kwangu kuna kaaje. Now he's coming to someone's house huko Thika Road to sit with me kwa room kuniombea. And I'm like, hey. And for the first time also, remember, instead of blaming the other party, I told God, for the first time in my life, show me who I am, God.
Yeah.
I stood in front of a mirror. I said, God, show me. Leo, sitoki hapa. I'm not doing this again. Show me who I am. Tell me and show me what responsibility, what part I played in all this. And I don't want to blame the other party. Bro, it was not easy. Moved back to my mom's house. My mom told me, and I remember being in my mom's house. And so for the first time, I'm back in Buru. Remember, sikuwa nenda home sana?
Yeah.
Because I was avoiding her. Because every time I'd go, she'd try and bring up that issue, we'd fight.
Yeah.
So I'm avoiding her. So now I'm back. My dad is not there. My dad alikuwanga always ref. Alikuwanga wale mediator.
Yeah.
But he's not there. He's passed on.
Oh, so now you're with your mom.
I'm just me and my mom.
There's no mediator now.
Ati nenda bafu na kitawe livi na mandevu mpaka kwa kifua. Nakutana maadhe hapo maze. Bro.
Hey, that's humbling.
It's humbling, bro.
Yeah.
Then everyone who knows Danco, ule msanii, Danco Watobina, they are seeing me in Buru asubuhi na jog. Alirudi home. Ana kitu. Backpack, bro. Backpack. And God, mi nakwambia, I started seeing things happen. Nini, I got this job. So that's why I was telling you now, that part where I went for the interview.
Yeah.
So I told them,
this is who I
am. This is what I'm going through. This is what I'm struggling with. If you really want this voice. So they tell me, we will call you. Let us seek the Lord. Bro, that was the 9th floor. Nikiwa ground floor, because I was packed in the basement. I'm not even driving my mom's car. And interview na ndaya madhi. Nikiwa ground floor, as I'm going to the basement, they call me and tell me I'm hired. As in, God confirmed. Na shindwa hata waliomba kweli. How fast did he answer that prayer? From 9th floor to ground floor.
Yeah.
And when I got behind that mic, bro, started off with Tess, Nini, then Tina came. And now that was my connection with Tina. Tina is just, Tina in my life, I don't know. I cannot even begin to express how much spiritually I am in awe of who Tina is in my life. And I'm telling you, men spoke, bro. My prayer was, speak out, men.
Yeah.
I'm here to listen. If no one is going to listen, me, I'll listen.
Yeah.
I'll listen, I'll cry with you. Bro. And I'm like, was it fine? Right now we can say, but was it really worth it? I would have made better choices, Moz.
Yeah.
I would have. If I go back, I would.
Yeah.
But what I've gone through cannot be thrown out.
Yeah.
It's now very important and pivotal in my, I don't want to say my ministry, but in my walk of faith.
Do you think the decision that you made affected you work-wise, financially?
Yes.
As Danco, the trajectory of the path of your life that you could have been on?
I tend to think if I hadn't taken this path,
musically,
I would have been very far. And you know it.
Yeah.
I'd be very far musically. I would probably serving in a church. Because I remember I was a worship leader, so I really loved serving the Lord. I would have been far. Economic wise, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because life, is sinusoidal.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's up, it's down.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact I wouldn't be where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
In this sense, I'm not saying I am at a lower place. I think I'm at a higher place now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in another dimension
Mm-hmm.
where I don't judge, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't judge.
I think you have a deep understanding.
I see you messing up. I go back to where I was when messing up. How would I have wanted people to understand me?
Yeah.
By the way, therefore, these three remain. There is faith, hope, and love. Of this, love is the greatest.
Yeah.
And I understand now. I understand what love is all about. What love is the greatest means.
Yeah.
Because God is love.
Mm.
As in Christ aliembrace wasi mse akona leprosy, man. Wewe sasa hapa mse atoke hata na upele, hata si leprosy.
Unamhepa.
Scabies, bro, unahepa.
Yeah.
Mse ananuka tu chokosh. Wewe ushai hug chokosh.
Mm-hmm.
You get like.
Yeah.
But love does not look at who you are, Moz. Love looks at how God sees you.
Yeah.
That God, can I see Moz through your eyes?
Yeah.
Hey, this is happening. Hey. Umse badala ana ufala. Si ati aliamka tu akaamua kuwa na ufala. So what do you think about him, God? Muombe tu. And man, it had really affected my finances, my talent, affected relationships. I lost so many friends. We had a men's group in the church I was in. We don't even talk.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what the enemy does.
Yeah.
When it comes to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yes.
It looks like this thing he's giving you is good, but his intention is to steal, kill, and destroy your life.
Yes.
And him he can see he's also in the long. Akona long game yake ni long.
Akona long game.
Ni long game.
Yeah.
When you went back home, did you reconcile with your mom?
Yes. Let me tell you what happened. Bro, God works in mysterious ways. So I'm going back home 0. But I have a job.
Yeah.
But job unaandikangwa at the beginning of the month, malipo ni 30 days later.
Yeah.
Unajua?
Yeah.
So ni zile. So how do I survive from here?
Mm-hmm.
So during that period, time ya COVID na curfew, mom is naibagari ya madhi. Yani nimerudi. You remember those days?
Wow, yeah.
Nimerudi hizo era. Yeah, I want to go see my friends.
Mm-hmm.
My friends live in Kongong Road nini. Wale wa Buru, hatujazoeana sana. So ni kuibagari. Mama acha na come. Come back after 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Past curfew. Uko wapi? I'm like, bro, mimi niko na mandevu, man. Unaniuliza niko wapi aje?
Yeah.
Kweli sijiwezi, Kuna konganako you're still your mother's child.
Yeah. And you're in her house.
I'm in her house. I have to follow her rules.
Yeah.
And the days I would go and sleep, my boy Alvo would go and tunaenda hata ocha tukae.
Yeah.
Anabeba there and untrack. Because she had a track. Nikiona kakagio. Kashokia gari hiyo, tomorrow I'm going for. Imagine rudisha hiyo gari nataka kwenda. I'm like, what are you saying? What are you saying, mom?
Oh,
but so she sees me, she says, now you have a job.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fungia, because even if you meet someone out there to date, where will you take her?
Yeah.
Like if you're having a date, so utamwambia unaishi kwa mama yako? Go and look for a house.
Yeah.
Told mother, hey mom, nini mesota? Akaniambia, I have told you, go and look for a house. Hey, me and my bro. So I'm looking for a house near where the job will be.
Yeah.
So tunaongea huko Makona, Ngando,
Yeah.
Dago to the whole area. Hey, nimepata keja.
Mm-hmm.
Mother pays for it. Everything. So I'm like,
wow.
Hey, thanks, mom. So I'm thinking now I have to look for stuff.
Yeah, furniture and things.
Furniture nini. I go back home, I'm like, hey, thanks, mom. Mazee, God akubless. Hey, mazee umefanya fit. I get a 1 bedroom. Then, the next day she wakes up, tells me, twende supermarket. Bro, akona list ya everything. Bro, from TV. Bro, I moved in my house with everything. I told people, mimi watu hivyo hawaamingi. Maybe bed tu ndio sikuwa nimemekisha.
Yeah.
Mattress ilikuwa kwa floor. But I moved in with everything. Bro, everything. Madhali nibaya mpaka sofa. Everything. Carpet.
Wow.
Nini, TV, tenje. Nini. Na
it's like a new start. Uh-huh.
Yes. And she had another car that my brother was driving.
Mm-hmm.
Kambo ni second born. You are the middle child. Wewe umezoea ku overlookiwa. Patia Danco your gari.
Wow.
We'll get you a new one. So nikapoa kanyoka kengine hapo hivyo itakuwa kanyoka ka premium. KAY.
Yeah.
And that's how I started my life.
Wow.
Bro, from a 3-bedroom, having a car, having nini, lavish lifestyle, going to hotels, nini, doing all these things. Nimerudi kwa Kawan BR. Niko na kanyoka, nimerudi, naishi 4 minutes away from the studio.
Yeah.
Naendanga tu. And I felt so fulfilled.
You must have had peace in your heart.
Bro, nilikuwa na peace. Alafu, when you have somewhere to go every day.
Yeah.
So you don't have time to wallow.
Yeah.
In, niliachwa, nilifanya nini. So we reconciled and my mom told me, I've been praying for you since the first year. And this money that I have used, I always saved it in the bank, saying one day my son will return.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine she's been saving for 8 years. She said 7, but imagine she's been saving for 7 years. Anaeka tu do kando.
Bro.
Do you know, ebu jaribu kuimagine tu ni do inakaaje.
Mera wachana na do.
Yeah.
What kind of love is this?
Imagine.
When you know, mzazi normally ataachilia sema ikio ni kichali, kitajipanga. She's praying for you.
Yes.
And she's putting money aside with faith and hope that my son will come back.
She even told me, hiyo gari sasa arudishia bradhako. Have you saved some money? Come, Mom, I have a few coins. Look for a car. Nikatafuta ka and what's it called? I've forgotten. Easy nika NZD but ikona
Tida. Nissan?
No, it's a Toyota tu.
Okay. Avensis?
No, hii kawaida tu ni NZD but ikona hatchback. I've forgotten, it's a premium. No, not premium, it's I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Nikapata my first car, my first logbook in my name.
Wow.
I got that. Nikapata hiyo ndai Fielder. Ka Fielder old model ile kitambo iko na mataa kwa boot za hizo brake. I bought it. She gave me 400 G's. I had 200. I bought it 600 G's.
Bro.
And when I gave back bro wangu hiyo ndai, which is beautiful. I'm a super by the squeeze. And the funny thing about this car she bought me, it was the first car ever with my name on the logbook, bro.
Yeah.
Fast forward when in 2022, when she's in India, I was stranded due to all her resources and she needs to come back. It's the car I sold to bring them back from India.
Oh, man, praise.
And paid for one of my uncle's burials at the same time. I'm like, it just went full circle.
Wow.
And I didn't even, she was like, we'll pay you, we'll buy you another car. I told mother, no.
No, don't worry about it.
What you've done for me, I can't even fathom. I can't even pay you back.
Yeah.
So sadly, it went like that until she passed on.
Yeah.
She passed on in February.
But that relationship was healed.
But we had healed that relationship. She was my best friend. We would take drives. She would never, the same way her and my dad would never go Ocha without each other.
Yeah.
Now I became that guy.
She can't go to Shags without you.
Nataka kwenda Ocha. Friday, unatoka job saa ngapi? Si tuende turudi Sunday.
Wow.
I drive her. We go.
Yeah.
Ushago, we go to the farm. We go visit her siblings, huko Mukoroine and all these things. And come back. And we bonded so well up until she passed on. And that, as much as it was very devastating for me, I always say, at least I made peace with my parent.
Yeah. Bro, there's nothing as beautiful as that. And what I'm seeing is a story of the prodigal son.
Yes.
Coming back home. And him is coming to ask the dad for forgiveness and just being like, I just want to be a servant in your house.
Yes.
And the father is like, my son, this is your home. I've been praying for you and hoping that you'd come back. I've been waiting for you at the gate every day.
That's right.
And then let me remove your filthy rags.
Yes.
And give you new clean clothes. Give you a ring.
Yeah.
Restore you. I feel like that's what your mom did.
That's what she did, bro. As in, she was always like the father in that story of the prodigal son. She was always outside waiting. When is the day? Because I remember the call that came, because my shame could not allow me to go back to Buru. So I went to live with my folks, my friends.
Yeah.
Kina Thomas and Mercy, those guys.
Wow.
Imagine a couple, they bought me a bed, bro. They had a 2-bedroom house, one room was empty. They bought me a bed. And to date, kwao, I have a room. Ushago kwao, uko Kiaragana, the folks now, wazazi wake, there's a room, they say, hii ni room ya Danco.
Yeah.
Bro, As in, it comes full measure, pressed down, shaken together. The love in restoration, bro, is immense. So much so that it does not matter the pain that you endured. The joy of resurrection took away the pain of crucifixion.
It's like a brand new.
Bro, it's a polishing. These people, they are trusting me. Oh, Twende. Oh, our son, this is your room. Oh, Nini, Made, Yani. And even Made, when Made passed, like the people that have come up to even, bro, I'm even telling you, there is a full Muslim, an Islam family. They are full Muslim, blown Muslim. They are like our parents. Bro, I'm telling you.
Wow.
And that's what I'm saying. When you have a personal walk with God, there are things that don't... I know that people would be like, hey! Bro, we go there. We honor that man. Nur. We honor him and Mama Fatuma. We honor them. We love on them. They call us when they're doing the Idul Fitr.
Idul Adha.
Tunaenda tunasosi, wanatupakia food. Endeni. How are you? Ukiwa na shida, unafungiwa nyumba, they send you money. Bro! Waislamu! God will command even a sack to hold water for you, bro. Wow. When you are aligned, a sack will hold water for you. Even a kola and itashika maji na itajaa na itamwagika hata drop. Wow. And that's the beauty in surrendering yourself to Christ. By the way, don't follow that song. Your song, it's the now, bro. It's the now. You could be in that space where you know you're checking into the wrong hotel. You know, you're checking into the Heartbreak Hotel. And you don't know, bro. You could be deciding, you know what? This gospel, imagine the glory of the resurrection took away the pain of the crucifixion. It was all for this sake. And I believe even for us right now where we are, in our own different quarters, in our own different cocoons, because even as men, men, we like to cocoon. We are going through so much, but we can't talk. Let me tell you, there's something you said that the former,
the glory of the latter,
glory of the latter is greater than the glory of the former. So as you're going through it, just know there's something beautiful at the end. He makes everything beautiful in its time. In its time. He does not make anything beautiful at once, by just a word. He can. But there's a reason as to why it has to be in its time. Because it has to go through that whole process. Because that process is what assures you of eternity. That process is what causes you to learn how to love as Christ loved. Because, bro, even the things now I'm starting to understand, like, therefore, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. We always look at it from Christ's side. What is the state of the church that still Christ has to die for it every day, bro? Can die for it. He died for it. I'm like, what is that one thing that your wife is that you cannot stand? Yet still Christ says, I want you to love her
as I have loved the church.
And even take a bullet for her and die for her. Bro, it's deeper than we think. And it's more personal than we have experienced.
If you're to get into a relationship now, I don't even know if maybe you're dating. The lessons that you've learned, I'm sure you do it extremely differently.
Bro, I am where it's crazy. Like, there's the trauma. Let's not forget. Of course, we are humans. Kuna trauma, bro.
The newness of life.
Kuna newness. Kuna hizo trauma, because you see, it's not a destination. The newness of life it's a work in progress. It's a journey. So you still have to deal with it. But I would, number one, let me just be blunt and tell you what I tell my friends. Bro, no if I'm saying, toka mbio, acha ufala. Usijaribu. Ataka, ulikuwa na mtext, delete your number.
Achana nayo.
Delete your number. Achana, ni wife I'm saying. Because that's from experience. That's from whence I came. You know? That's my experience. Bro, watcha. That's how blunt I am with people. Me personally, if doing this afresh, and my desire is that I embody what Christ says. that dying to self daily, bro. Dying to self does not come as it's not a project.
Yeah.
It's a daily thing.
It's a decision.
It's a decision you have to make, that less of me and more of you. How can I see this person through your eyes? How can I do things the right way?
Yeah.
That's where I am right now.
Yeah.
And I'm trusting God for, I don't know. I'm just trusting God at any honor. At any honor, not at honor. He will honor my... But fast forward, things are okay. We're co-parenting very well.
That's good.
We are buddies, niaje, fiti. But that's just as it is. Iko tu hapo.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be very ugly. But it's not. Like, tunaweza enda chuo, ya mtoi. Yeah, okay. Utafanya hivi. God has provided.
Yeah.
Bro, in the storm, in the eye of the storm, amenigave peace.
Yeah.
Ameniprovidea. Hata sahi in my state of being jobless. Si feel nika niko jobless. God to provide for some way to.
Yeah.
Nilirudi mtaa. Naishi mtaa, nirudi home Buru.
Yeah.
So,
you know, sometimes I remember, Danco, there was a time when through the journey of Kubamba. So I moved from Kangemi, where I was with my boys.
Yes.
This was my safe space.
Warokobani.
Before I even went to Waroko.
It was before Waroko?
Yeah.
So,
because Kangemi is where my family was, my close friends, all of them were there. So when I became a Christian, I moved from there. And I went to stay in Feather Estate.
Yes.
And I used to live there with Oscar, with Kuku, with a lady called Shish.
Yes.
Shush. And also with... now myself, it was the four of us. We had a nice 4-bedroom house with an SQ. It was a beautiful place. And I was there for like a year. But bro, it got to a time when it became so difficult. I hollered at my sis. I was like, can I come and stay at your house? Bro, I went to live with my sis in her 1-bedroom house.
What?
I used to sleep in the sitting room.
Yes.
On the sofa. On the sofa, bro.
Yeah.
And
ukiona wageni uko na usingizi uweze lala juu.
Uwezi lala.
Wamekalia bedi yako.
Nileta mnajipatia shughuli.
Unajifanya wanashinda mse bora halali.
Bro, and that time guys are calling you, man, to go for gigs. They're popular Christian DJ. You finish the gig, go back, sleep on the couch, man. Sasa maze niko Nairobi Baptist.
Yes.
Bapo, man, is surrounded na watu wa kibabi.
Maze.
You guy, and hata huwezi fikiria kukatia. Kwa sababu wanakam kuvisit wapi sasa?
I don't wapeleka wapi.
You know.
Yeah.
But still, you know, that's sleeping on that sofa. Danco felt like heaven. Like I had such peace.
Yes.
And I remember that time, Joksi released the song. They're not even released it. So Kabere sent me the song, you know, and in particular, this is our new song. We're not releasing it yet, so you can't even play it on radio. I'll tell you when to play it. But when he gave me that song, I listened to it. It was Nampenda Bwana, Nasibadilish. Yani, in that sofa, I remember just sitting and listening to this song over and over and again, telling God, Yani, I don't care what you take me through. I love you, and I'm never going back to the world.
Sure.
In that sofa.
Yeah. Wow.
So for you, you're back in Buru.
Yes.
Buru could be that sofa.
Yes.
But it's like, bro, you're at peace.
Yes.
You have a peace that surpasses all understanding.
That's right.
It's like when Paul says, I know what it is to have and I know what it is to lack. And I've learned the secret. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength.
Yes.
In each of these situations, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And so, yeah, it might be like, oh man, niko Buru, but bro, hakuna mtu anakuja kukudai.
Manze hakuna. Sibishiwi.
Hakuna mtu anakubishia mlango.
Naambo tu wewe, haujalipa garbage. 200.
Hakuna. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, so you have, it's like God has given you a place to, it's like a rebirth.
Yes. It's a rebirth.
Yeah.
I like that. A rebirth.
Yeah.
And oh my God, yes, it's a rebirth because I can't begin to tell you how at peace I am. Like, you remember when the first time I went back to Buru, I would feel ashamed to show my face. So I would come out jioni.
Oh, man. Because that's what sin does.
Yes. Nowadays, bro, nimepata wasema besti. In fact, juzi, nilikutana na nani. You remember Pastor Jasiel Njao? Anajita Fadela. Used to be on TV.
Oh, Fadela, yeah.
So I meet him. He's a very good friend of mine now. Tunapatana hapo Mtishi.
Yeah.
Nikibai mboga nikikatiwa. Yeah, lazima akule miwa akienda mtaa.
Yeah.
You know? And he's such a good friend. And there's that refreshing, like God puts people around you that will refresh you and show you how this move is like an arrow.
Yeah.
For an arrow to go far, it has to be pulled back.
Yeah.
So it's not a setback.
No.
It's just a setup, you know?
Yeah.
And mutembea nilirudi.
Bro, there's no shame.
I don't know shame.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
And I'm at peace.
Yeah.
Unlike the other time.
Yes.
So, bro, I really understand that the couch is a pivotal moment in your life because that's where you make the most sincere decision.
Yeah.
Of never turning back. And I've heard you say that I have no plan B. That thing has really blown me away. Sina plan B. By this, sina plan B.
Yeah.
God ukiniondokea ni hivyo.
Yeah.
Sina plan B. Nitaenda. Bro, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's on that couch. When God spoke to me through the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 8. I think it's only fair that I read it, bro, because it was so significant for me, Danco.
Yeah.
Please note, I'm sleeping on this couch. I'm going for all these gigs.
Yeah. People are thinking, but then, we used to think, kwa najua Moz kwa mafuta, bro. Bro, just a Muslims anatoka hapa na kwa kihao yake Karen. Bro, kwa couch.
Buddha.
What?
Sasa nimeenda bila kubai mngaro. Nani ananipatia njumu? Kaberere ako form 4. How is Kaberere giving a whole DJ should be making... I'm the one who should be giving Kaberere shoes, not the other way around.
Pocket money at you.
Yeah, not the other way around.
God rest his soul, man.
Deuteronomy chapter 8.
Yeah.
God says, be careful to follow every command I am giving you today so that you may live and increase and may enter and possess the land the Lord promised on oath to give to your ancestors.
Yeah.
Then he tells them, and he tells me, remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness for these 40 years to humble and test you in order to know what is in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands. That's why you go through that wilderness.
Just go back there.
Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years to humble and test you in order to know what is in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commands.
To humble and test you.
To see what's in your heart, bro. Then he says he humbled you, causing you to hunger and then feeding you with manna, which neither you nor your ancestors had known, to teach you that man does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord.
That's right.
Lazimo, you start to get to the place where bro, if I don't have God's word, what do I have? If I don't feed myself on this, man does not live on bread alone. Because you go through times you don't have food.
Yeah. Yes.
You wake up in the morning, you have no breakfast. The guys who go for the whole day without food.
Yeah.
In order that you may learn that man does not live on bread alone, but every word that can. Yani, I had to bond with God's word. Then he reminds me, man, your clothes did not wear out and your feet did not swell during these 40 years. Know then in your heart that as a man disciplines his son, so the Lord your God disciplines you.
Bro, your scripture may sum up the whole story. Sum up the whole story. When you asked in the beginning, so if God knew that you would take this route, it's so that he can humble and test me and man, imenipatia different perspective. Because then I would be, bro, now it makes sense. Where would I be had I not made those choices? Ningekuwa msem proud sana.
Mbaya.
Ningekuwa msem judgmental na proud sana. But it was all about a test. aone what's in you.
Yeah.
What is it that is in you?
Yeah.
Wow.
And during this wilderness that you've gone through and the bad decisions that have been made, and that God's desire is not to kill you.
No.
Because the enemy is the one who comes to steal, kill, and destroy. His plan is to give you life and life in abundance. So you've gone through that wilderness. You're a different man.
You know, when I was at Kubamba, kuna siku nilisoma one devotion one time. That a mango tree, unajua mango tree inaweza toa fruit ikiwa this high. Yeah, ukipanda. It will start budding at a very young age.
Wow.
How do you ensure that this plant has produced enough mangoes? Because inaweza toa kamoja and that's it.
Yeah.
So you kato, ikianza kubado na kata. Inaendelea, so ina focus all its nutrients on becoming tough.
Wow.
So inaenda ikifika place kama kutoka chini, palipopata nakaka kuna fruit, kata.
Oh.
Inaenda ikiwa big. But the seeds multiply, the buds multiply.
Yeah.
Up until ocha kwetu kuna miti waseulala under shade za mango tree. Very high, hata kupanda unaweza chizi. But mtaa kwa mtaa kuna mango tree unaweza hata ishika na mkono.
Yeah.
Those are the same mango tree but different seasons. So those he loves, he chastises. Because he knows the budding that is in you.
Yeah.
And your tentacles are to reach far and wide. Which is why Moz today, even as we celebrate Kubamba at 25, on this very day, by the way,
it's today.
God knew. And even before I even answer, I know it's today. So it's today, 15th of May.
15th of May.
Today, it was a Monday.
5 p.m.
It was a Monday.
Yeah.
In 2000, the year 2000.
Yes.
What was going through your mind? By the way, what happened at that moment? I would like to know, because there's what I'm trying to get at, because of what you have gone through and how God has pruned you and chastised and all this, because your tentacles have to reach far and wide to the nations.
Yeah.
So maybe you can draw us a picture of how was that day and what was happening?
So on the Saturday, May 13th,
yes,
I had been asked to go and do a radio show at midnight, graveyard shift.
Yes.
From midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning. So they can hear how I sound on radio.
Oh, wakujudge na yo.
Yeah.
Time was
these 2 hours.
Yeah.
So first, Leo Slinkerland had called me to his office like that week.
Yes.
That week of May 10th.
Yeah.
And basically he asked me, he was like, Moz, we're struggling to get young people to listen to the radio station. Can you help us get young people to listen? I told him, I don't know, but there's something that God has given me, which I think can attract young people to the station.
Yes.
And I'm a DJ, and I think young people like DJs because I had experience in the clubs.
Yes.
So he was like, okay. So they called me now to go for that Saturday night graveyard so they can listen and see how these guys sound. So I was nervous as crazy because I'd never been on radio before. I could play.
Yes.
But now there's a microphone in front of me.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and now I'm playing and I'm speaking to people. And so I was extremely nervous that midnight to 2 o'clock in the morning. So the show was recorded. I guess the bosses were given the show to listen to it. Monday, May 15th, Leo Slingerland calls me to his office. And he's like, so I liked what I heard. And would you be willing to start?
Wow.
I was like, yeah. I asked him, when can I start? How about today evening? Bro.
What?
No warning. How about today evening, 5 o'clock? I was confused. I was excited. I had all these emotions going through in my mind and in my heart, because as a secular DJ, I had tried getting a radio show with Capital FM and it had not worked. Even though guys of Capital used to come clubbing at JK's where I was. And the reason why they couldn't give me a show is because all my songs in the secular world had cuss words.
Yes.
And you cannot allow to play songs that have swearing on radio.
Yes.
So that did not work. So that thing that I desired for such a long time as a secular DJ is happening. God is bringing it to fruition as a believer. And then the way it has happened, it's in such a crazy way. Such a crazy way that I have no experience with radio prior. I have not studied communication.
Yes.
I have no background to show that I am capable to be able to do a radio show.
Right.
Apart from the gift that God has given me. I've had one radio show which I was very nervous because it was the graveyard shift. I've been called for this meeting. Alafu Nambua start today.
Leo.
So between 11 o'clock and 5 p.m., I have to go back home.
Prepare.
Get my decks. Come back to the radio station. And start a show with... I was confused. I was like panicking and I was excited and I was nervous and I was like, how is this show going to go, God?
Bro, 25 years ago.
That was 25 years ago, man. And I had no idea, Danco. Like, I was so excited for the radio show. And let me say, I have to thank, and I think I mentioned this with Jugush, I have to thank a lady called Judy Nduati. And my story and the story of Kubamba has always been, God has surrounded me with faithful men and women to journey with me through this life. Judy Nduati, that lady loved me from day one.
Yeah.
She had no knowledge of me prior. She never used to listen to secular music. She was always a chick of the church. So when I became a believer and I've come to do this radio show, she stayed with me for that graveyard shift.
Through it all.
To help me with the console because I couldn't DJ and run the console.
So she's running the desk for you.
Now she's running the desk for me.
Yeah.
And then when I started the radio show, she stayed with me every day for 2 weeks, running the console for me and showing me because her show was just before mine.
So she does a show and waits for another whole show.
She had no reason to wait. She could have gone home. She's done with her show.
Yeah.
3 to 5 p.m. and get home. I'm at 2 to 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Bro, she used to stay and help me with the mixing console. I am the person I am on radio because of Judy Nduati.
Wow.
But there's something that I learned on that day. Because of how I was thrown in the deep end, now it's coming back to my mind. That's what I do with everyone who comes to work with Kubamba.
Bro, I am a testament. I am a testament. Wow.
Miurusha say kwa deep end because I'm like, how else do you learn?
Bro, mbona mlinige job? But then I'm sorry to cut you short. What did I have? I had never been on radio. You had interviewed me on your shows.
Yeah.
Remember your show with Kambua? You had interviewed me so many times.
Yeah.
You had opportunities to give me even in other stations where you had a show. Why now?
I prayed about it. If in my mind there was no Danco, there was no two ways. There was no other person. And when I sat with you in the office as well, and we talked about it, and you told me about your life, I was like, I can't think of a better candidate. And there were other guys whose lives were perfect.
Bro.
But I think God had made it clear that my job was to love you.
Yeah. And you paired me with Tina Nzuki, Tina Nzuki, bro.
And for many people, and I can't wait to have Tina on the podcast. And I'm going to have her, I think she's going to be here in June.
Yes.
That you're both imperfect people. And I love your imperfections.
Ooh.
Because I'm not a perfect man.
Yes. Yeah.
And my job is not to kick people to the curb, but to embrace the love that I have experienced from God. My command was to love you, bro. And to love Tina. And I knew it was not going to be easy. But I could not think of two better imperfect people to have on the radio show because I knew you guys would not be judgmental.
Yes. Yes. Oh.
I knew you guys would be full of love.
Yes.
And full of grace.
Grace.
That's what I wanted.
Wow. Maybe I've never told you thank you, but Moz, you've built my life. You have no idea. You and Jugush, in your own different capacities, the whole team, Akina Gach, everyone played a very important role in my life to where I am today. And for what I've been able to achieve. Maybe I've never really sat down to think about it, but talking about it now, I see a clear picture. Bro, asante, man.
Karibu, man.
There's nothing, siwezi kubaya keki, siwezi. But thanks, bro.
Karibu.
Thanks, man.
It's
thanks.
not, you do not need to thank me, Danco.
Hey, bro, you have no idea. You have no idea.
Thank God, Yani, because as you had me telling my brothers and sisters, my colleagues, niko naambia, I'm not that much of a faithful guy. If I can fail my kids, how much more you?
Ooh, man.
It's God, man. Because this is God's faithfulness.
Yeah.
It's God's faithfulness.
And I'm just one man. Thinking about the hundreds, the thousands you've given opportunities, bro. And I think that's what the gospel is all about. Reaching out in love. Irrespective of who, as long as God has given you the authority and has given you the mandate in your hands, like we are an extension of his love.
Yeah.
And when you extension yake,
yeah.
You love on people.
Yeah.
And you can never go wrong with loving on people.
There's something that Gach used to say those days, if you remember.
Yeah.
His one statement was always that his consistent was loving people back to life.
Back to life, yes. I remember.
That's stuck with me, man.
Man. It's been one hell of a ride.
But if you remember, one of my greatest memories with you, and I'll never forget this because I did not know this about you, Danco.
Yeah.
And now when I look back, I think you were always marked by God to serve him. Because do you remember Karibu kuwe Catholic priest?
Yeah, bro. Nilichoma watu na makaa, bro. Yeah. And for some reason, let me tell you.
Ningekuwa pop saa hizi.
Kwa hivyo sasa ningekuwa huko the conclave. Ningekuwa kwa conclave. And how many padres, Espiritu Santo. Bro, I served as an altar boy. But I don't know why I forget that part of my life, son. And there's a reason why, because of that background. I don't know whether you've gone.
Were you guys Catholics?
Yes. I grew up Catholic. My folks, especially watu wa Nyeri. Nyeri sana influence ilikuwa ya Catholic. Back in the day, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And because my folks were Catholics, we grew up tukaingia Kato.
Yeah.
So my brother, because he was very young, yeye ndo alikuwa mtu wa kwanza kuingia KG.
Yeah.
Yeye alisikia tu madrums akaingia.
Yeah.
So he started serving. So asi tulikuwa tunamwona yeye ni rebel kuruka.
Yeah.
Ni rebel kuruka. So mimi, I was an altar boy.
You used to serve at the front.
I used to serve hapo mbele.
Unavaa robe?
Ninavaa hizo robes, nini hizo machalis. Zile sacrament zimebaki unafikira zienda wapi? Siuzi bonya buda. Kuna poto wazee. Kuna visosi. Kulikuwa na rumati ukiweka kwa mfuko utoke nayo church itachange kwa damu. It was just we were serving all the same. So nilitoka juu one day sikuwa nimefunga hiyo nini ya incense vizuri. So as I'm cling makazi katoka. Wasa walikuwa kuna msesa hii mali huko kuna alama hapa na akumbuki. Ni mimi next Sunday, bro. Nilikuwa yawe. Nilikuwa kantanta. Asikuwa irudi. In fact, I went back later. Like a few years back ndo nilirudi. And my records are still there. The Catholic Church has a great record keeping.
Wow.
Jina yangu iko hapo. And the year nilipitia hizo classes.
Yeah.
With my brother there and my cousin called Tony.
Wow.
Bro.
Ungekuwa, did you ever see yourself when you were at that time? Did you ever see your journey or your path being a Catholic priest or a brother?
Yes. Because you see, when you're serving in the church, so our desire is the next stage ukue catechists. Catechists ni wase they serve the priests. Hata wanaishi huko within.
Yeah.
And they are very polite people. Watakuwa ukisha grow, ukishamaliza shule ukue catechists. Kidogo uende usomee, ukue priest, ukue parish yako,
Hey.
But hatukuwa tunajua ufai kumari. I don't know, tulikuwa tunajua, but by then we were serving diligent. I wanted to be a priest. But I used to see myself doing that thing. Wow. Like, I used to love how Father Thomas Bach, the late, he was a mzungu, but try speaking Swahili. Vivyo hivyo baada ya kula akatoa kikombe akashukuru akaumega akawapa wafuasi wake akisema twaeni. But now because za mzungu can't say mnywe wote, so he used to say twaeni mnyimwe wote, and we used to laugh with my bro. We used to laugh, but we would admire him. Like, it was so seamless for him. And sometimes we'd go to up country. Yeah. We see a white priest speaking in Kikuyu. And his accent is funny. And we laugh. And it was awesome. And I saw myself like that. Yeah. But when you now reflect and look backwards, you're like, hey, the grand plan it's big. Yeah. It's big. Sometimes you're fixated on one point. Maybe you're fixated on, this is what I want to do, but God has a grand plan. Yeah. And once you actually see the bigger picture, or you're living in it or walking in it, that's when you realize, wow, I was so narrow-minded back then. Yeah. Yeah. But it would have been an amazing thing. I think
it would have been an amazing priest.
I think a priest. I could rap.
I would have been the first one. Yeah. Bwana awe nyonyi.
Awe pia nawe. Inue ni mioyo. Tumsifu Bwana Mungu wetu. Ni vyema na haki. Kweli ni vyema na haki kushukuru daima na popote. I know the words. And I served here in Nairobi, and when I was in boarding school in Elbagon. St. Peter's Catholic Church. Wow. Huko ndo nilianza kwa altar boy. That was my first place.
Bruno kwamba hii route ilikuwa
Buddha. That's a story for
Hey man, God, that's a God na neema yake, man.
Amen, man. Hey.
But one thing I'm really looking forward to, because I cannot wait to be back with you on stage.
Yes. Bro, I've been gymming. I'm day 5. I started gymming last week. I'm 5 days non-stop niko kwa gym. Because let me tell you, I've always wanted to come for the event, for third service. Yeah. And third service, I don't know why, from the first one.
Yeah, because I invited you.
You invite me, but now, what I didn't tell you, I shuffle from Kirinyaga to here.
Okay, going to the farm and back.
To the farm. Now, we only have a farm hand, so I'm saying they stay there a few days. Yeah. So that thing really confuses my Nairobi calendar. Yeah. So that's how sometimes in Najipata, even the last one, because I remember it was on the 5th. Yeah. There's another one that you did last year. Mm-hmm. It was around the 5th.
With Julia. Oh, with Masimasika.
With Masimasika. Yeah. You invited me. I was to come. I was even ready to come. Mm-hmm. But I had forgotten that's the time we were doing our first memorial for my mom. Oh, man. So I had planned an event for Thanksgiving. It was not a memorial, but a Thanksgiving for people who helped us as we were going through the burial process. Yeah. So I was there. So every time I want to come, niko huko, nimeenda sijui kuna meetings kuna scheme ya maji. Yeah. So you have to attend, bro. Yeah. Ama utafainiwa. So sometimes najipata niko huko on a whole Sunday niko huko meeting. Na Sunday ndo meeting Monday. Yeah. So but I can't wait for this one.
I can't wait,
man. That service on the 1st of June is gonna be out of this world.
I cannot wait to see all of you guys.
Bro, we are coming.
You know the last time we were together was during COVID.
Yes, when we did the event. Bless up. Aye. No, and the other one. What was the other one?
Oh, Legends.
The Legends.
Yeah.
TSO.
You know, I remember Calligraph came and he was rapping with you guys word for word.
Bro, it's when you hear some stories, like you hear people like Calligraph.
Eric Omondi, yes. It's raining, wako kwa audience.
Mvua hivi wananyeshewa watu sikize.
Wanaimba na nyinyi.
Even, in fact, we were asking the other day when we shared the poster in the group.
Yeah.
So we were sharing it. Then I remember Celebrity asking, hey, Quilly, what did we do? Shem was like, we just served. Yeah. We serve. Yeah. You don't look at anything else. Unajipeana tu.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, wow. How is it that people have not forgotten? Like, the guys, Hey, Pastor Benja is like, by then nilichukua Alibad tickets mapema.
Yeye ni mjanja, Alibad
alichukua Alibad mapema.
Yeah.
Because you know what? There's something of substance that all of us have.
Bro.
All of us.
You know, your songs shaped my life as well as a believer.
Wow. Sasa na wewe ndio ulikuwa unatupatia platform. Wewe ndio ulikuwa unatu
Mimi Danco singecheza ngoma siamini.
Yes.
Mimi niwe msee.
And what shocked me with you, because you have played for me and the team. We don't need to panga a playlist with you. There's how you have a timeline in your mind and in your spirit. There's how we connect.
Yeah.
And you know how to fuse. Remember, Wanono is how many groups? It's Chiefs, it's React, it's Fat Mode.
Yes.
It's Solid C.
Yeah.
It's SMA, it's
Shem.
Shem was React.
Yeah.
Shem alikuwa React, your group. I don't know how, like, you are so involved and you bought into our vision.
100, man.
That you know how to create your own playlist and timeline. We don't even worry. Like, we would be having a conversation, you're playing in gear.
Yeah.
Conversation imefika place fulani, you know how to, like, you merge it so nicely. And that one, by the way, hiyo yani, hiyo ni ya kushukuru.
Mimi sema Wanono crew is our Wu-Tang clan.
Maze.
Nyinyi Wu-Tang wetu. You know, as in, man. We cannot talk about the gospel music ministry and not talk about the impact that Wanono had. Alafu mshikane Gideon Zami.
Bro.
Tuweke Owen hapo.
Tuingize Owen. Owen lazima akam. Si Owen yuko.
Owen yuko.
Owen yuko, nimeona.
In fact, niko naambia Owen, the best thing tunaweza fanya mazina hii event, wewe ukiwa lazima Wanono crew wakuwe, because itatusaidia kucomplete kitu.
Bro, tuko na time. Next day holiday.
Hakuna job the next day, bro.
Hakuna holiday imepushwa to Monday. Bro, I cannot wait. I've been in the gym, bro. Sitaki kuchoka.
Sitaki kuhema kwa stage.
Sitaki kuhema kwa stage.
Yeah.
I'm just asking anyone who's out there. It's not about the performance. It's not about the hype.
Yeah.
It's about the experience of Jesus in that place.
Yeah.
Because that nostalgia takes you back to a place when, you know, you takes you back to a place where your personal ulikuwa na God.
Yeah.
And we want to remake that nini. To bring back your nini.
Bro, and that's one of the reasons why we do third service.
Yes.
Because there are many guys we were with back in the day.
Yeah.
Who are probably not in the faith today.
Yeah.
Because life has happened.
Yes.
And they probably feel like you and I have felt many times, I've seen there's no way God would want anything to do with me. So let me just stay away from God. But this becomes a reminder of that for them.
Yeah.
The love that they once had.
Exactly.
But then also there are other guys who will never come to church.
That's their service.
That's their service.
But they come. Come, let us love you back to life. Hey! Avia can't wait. I'm so excited. You know, we have a guy who actually lives in Kendu Bay. SMA. Lives in Kendu Bay.
Ako West Side.
You tokanga Kendu Bay. And event zote
from Bless Up.
From Bless Up to TSO. Legends. Mm-hmm. He travels all the way from Kendu Bay.
Skona Jones, yeah.
Yeah. There's a new jam, Repent. Mm-hmm. Like for us to record that song, he comes all the way from Kendu Bay. Stays here for about 3 days, goes back to Kendu Bay.
Unatesa boys.
Mpaka yani tunasema kama hii ni love, ni passion gani?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What passion is this?
I can't wait, man.
And we don't force him.
Na Lee bado ako Nakuru.
Oh,
he's back here now.
Lee is in Nairobi. Lee yuko anafanya mambo. So at least the best thing about Wanono right now, I'm not the biggest.
You guys lived up to your full potential.
But Wanono, you know. But all I know is that we are full of love.
Yeah.
Come, let's, by the way, come in it.
Yeah.
Come just as you are.
And one of the things Owen and I were saying was, and also with Shem was, we can also be able to honor and remember Danco, Nashville.
Nashville, yeah. Oh, man. Hey, that's another. Hey. Yeah.
We can be able to celebrate his life.
Wow. Nash.
Yeah.
Nash. I'm sure. Hey, but it will be the first time you're performing without him. Apart from now, the video we did for his tribute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Nashville was.
Wow.
Lakini Ngash vile alikuwa life of the party.
Ngash alikuwa kubamba.
Yeah.
Ngash was kubamba even before some of us were kubamba, man.
Yeah, akiingia kama sag trao. Mimi nilikuwa na sag. Lakini kulikuwa na sagging ya Ngashville.
By the way, that one haijaonekana tena. Do you know the funniest thing is that kuna nguo za Ngash nimepeana zenye alinipea. I want to draw a picture. Ona venye Danco anatoshana. Remember how Ngash alikuwa anatoshana? Kuna zile nimepeana as late as 2-3 years ago. Na zilikuwa zinanitosha. That's how baggy alikuwa anadunganga.
Ndio hiyo sasa.
Hizo baggy mpaka zinanitosha nikiwa hii age.
Na Ngash vile ukifikiria maze vile alikuwa kanini?
Alikuwa amenyoya.
Ka megabyte.
Alikuwa ana lost tuko ndani.
That
was beautiful.
I can't wait to honor him, man.
Yeah.
But thanks, bro.
Nashukuru sana.
I feel like this has been a very healing.
It has.
And
it has.
Very
it's always good sometimes to remind yourself from where you've come from.
Yeah.
And the story and the journey.
Yeah.
Like today I've really felt like even the things that I'm going through right now, I'm struggling, I've just felt them lift.
Yeah.
I feel at peace.
You know, you've just reminded me, it's like when James says, confess your sins one to another. Yeah. And there will be healing. And I'm not saying that these are our confessions, but in having our conversations, there's a healing that takes place. And as we reflect, we see God's faithfulness, even in our lowest moments.
Yes.
We see God's hand, yani.
That's true.
Vile ametushikilia kwa sababu the Bible says that, you know, Christ holds all things together, including our broken lives.
Yes.
So kwa sababu kasi angekuwa amekushikilia even when you are lost, Danco ungekuwa ulishaishia, bro. Hii conversation haingekuwa. Yeah. But thank you, bro.
Nashukuru. Thank you for having me, Moz, man. It's always good to be here. Can't wait for more. Can't wait for Tina to sit in this.
I cannot wait.
Hata sijui kama yeye ndakuja nisikize nikiwa hapa ama ndagojea.
Lazima kuwe hapa.
Man, it's
too many memories, man.
It's beautiful.
Too many memories.
I think one of these days we just decide to do a reunion.
We should.
From the old Kubamba guys, like if you're in Kubamba, like the Sitam are launching their new sanctuary in Buru. It's a brand new.
Oh wow!
They've a beautiful one. Imagine their lineup of passes. They brought back the passes that served kina Jesse Mwaya, Kimiwi, the whole crew.
Wase wa kitambo. Hata kama walitoka. But I want your star lineup ya. Even kuchi
launch. So I'm trying to imagine if you call people like today Kabamba is celebrating 25 years. Kuna mse ana celebrate now 25 years. Wewe ndo 25. But I'm sure the people who partnered with you during that time, like imagine if we did just kujeni.
So we're going to do one.
Yes.
To celebrate God's faithfulness.
Yes.
For 25.
Yes.
Where I'm hoping now that we'll be able to have everyone who God has allowed us to be able to labor with.
Yes.
Kwa sababu, you know, guys can celebrate Kubamba at 25, but it's really not about Kubamba at 25.
Yes.
It's God's faithfulness. Kwa sababu, I'm not that clever. This could have our story is God's story.
That's right.
So you are part of this story because it's God's story. And imagine tukiwa hapo hivyo akina Esther Wahome.
Imagine. Imagine.
Akina Sarake.
Oh my word.
Akina Isaac Kahora.
That was even before my units are dance, DJs na nini.
Yeah.
All the DJs that have gone through.
You know, my first urban artist kucheza like dancehall Kenya ilikuwa ni nani? Rafton.
Mwikulu. Bro.
Ulikuwa kwa hiyo video?
Nilikuwa buda.
Ni ukweli
Rafa anatuambia tunaenda kushoot video. Asubuhi mapema tumepack tumetoka Esto. We've bragged to everyone we're going to shoot Rafton's video. Alituweka umo mpaka 9 p.m. So wezi rudi kwenyu. Watu wanaona na mabag. Washindoeni Kakamega gani mlienda. Tutoke na matri hapo, matri ya kawaida. Wacha zile za kutravel, za kawaida. Mmejikunja miguu hivi, mnaganda, mnashukanga, mna stretch.
Mkielekea wapi?
Tukienda Kakamega stand Muogo.
Alafu nani pia alikuwa? Churchill.
We had Fatmod alikuwa Roni alikuwa hapo part of Fatmod. Kuna msaitwa Pasi Eriko anakuanga chachi ya Kiambio. Let me tell you, we were a whole bunch of us to Kakamega maze. We brought the city. Mi nakwambia Rafton jo.
Na saa hizo maze Seta alikuwa, but Rafton was the biggest dancehall artist.
Yes, but now this is a new Rafton.
This is a new Rafton, yeah.
In fact, muambia watu, Rafton, when he was getting saved, he came to KAG East.
Yeah.
Aliletwa kwetu mimi na Alvo. The Chiefs was already there.
Yeah.
So he came and asked us. He wants to give his life to Christ, but he does not know if there is music in gospel. He doesn't know gospel music.
Yeah.
Amesikia kuna timu wanaimbanga dancehall. So tukapiga freestyle na kadram huko nyuma.
Mlikuwa wabaya. Sisi mlikuwa wabaya.
Tunapiga makaunda suit. So Rafton is like, by the way, alisikia kuna watu wanapiga freestyle, tunapiga madancehall na Alvo.
Yeah.
He went to shoot the video for A Simple Face.
Yeah.
The last secular song, A Simple Face.
Yeah.
He didn't even release it. I think alikaa kona, kwa hivyo I can still continue with this craft in the kingdom. And that was it. So hata yake itangwa Godfather, alitupata sisi. Alitupata sisi.
So did I play your songs before?
No,
before
we had not recorded.
You're not recorded that time.
Unajua tulikuwa na record, studios ilikuwa ngapi? You know the one that was, I don't know, it was called what? The one guys used to pay 1,000 bob.
Gani?
Sijui ilikuwa South B. Ilikuwa na studio South B, the only studio.
Mimi niko najua studio 2 ya RK.
Yes, na kulikuwa
akiwa Sonalax House.
Kuna ile in Queens.
Queensway House.
Queensway, that's where we recorded. Na mbona mna chill na salvation I may bring. Push upon and give glory to the king. Then yung ngoma kienda kuhit. Wakatoa kampeni ya to chill. Na singo metu nuliza mbona mna chill. So yung ngoma ikadid. That's why we started with RK. Tukaenda Vineyard Records.
Yeah.
Then now we recorded Roga.
Roga. Ay. Anyway, guys, man, today I've been hanging out with one of the greatest legends we have in the gospel circles, Mazeha, baby. Danco Atalaku, man. Oh, wait, Atalaku ilitoka wapi?
Boss, Atalaku is a name that actually, I think, coined from the 80s in Kinshasa. Mm-hmm. It's Kikongo. Mm-hmm. Originally, it was for come and look at me.
Yeah.
Ni bragging right. Mm-hmm. So, Atalaku is the person in the band that does animations and whips the crowd into a frenzy. Mm-hmm. Initially, ilikuanga na manini mbaya, ilikuanga na sifa mbaya kitambo juu ulikuwa unaongea vitu mbaya.
Yeah.
But it morphed into now even addressing issues.
Yeah.
So unasikia band naimba, band kuna mzee so animations.
The hype man wanini sasa.
Hype man wa Kikongole ndo anaitangwa Atalaku. So nowadays people call me Atalaku, but every band in a Congolese band has an Atalaku.
Hey,
everyone ukienda kwa Kofi kuna Atalaku. Kwa Werason kuna Atalaku.
Allah sala.
Hata za gospel kuna Atalaku, akina Mike Kalambai, Mwesembie, they have the Atalakus in that.
Yes. Now it makes sense.
Yes.
Very befitting name. Very befitting name.
Was given that name by a guy called Soliste Jisse. Mm-hmm. He was the guitarist kwa church ya Ben Bahati the late. Mm-hmm. Yes. Congolese,
yeah.
Jisse. Soliste Jisse.
There it goes, guys. Danco Atalaku.
Original.
Original. Man, this has been such a great conversation, and thank you so much for joining us today. It's been absolutely fantastic having Danco with me on the podcast. Niambie vile keki iko mazee.
Boda.
By the way, mniwekea keki?
Walimaliza keki?
Okay, sawa. Naweza celebrate keki ya kubamba 25 na mimi hata sijaonja.
Cheers.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your great love and for your support. Yani, Kubamba, we celebrate 25 years and it's all God's faithfulness. We'd like to ask you to go ahead and grab our merchandise tafadhali, sindio? Because this is one way of you supporting us. And we have some nice drip. Yeah. Thank you so much for your faithfulness. Please go ahead and share the podcast together with your loved ones as well as your enemies, because that's another way of spreading love to your enemies. Indeed, keep them close. We love you guys. Peace.
Peace out.
And God bless.
Yeah.